How do you sneak alcohol in? Is early bird worth it? Is it hard to find a space? Can you bring alcohol in? How many drinks are you allowed in? Do you get any sleep? Is there any nearby shops? Is it hard to find people when you get there? If there's sniffer dogs? Does your stuff get robbed? Would you pay for the luxury passes and are they worth it? How much money should you bring? What food should you bring? The whole process of getting in, the whole security, recommended times to go to the festival, how many portable chargers do you need to bring? It's just the best area to camp. Festival essentials. So many people want to know what to. Hi everyone, just before this video starts, here are most of the timestamps for the different questions. A full list can be found in the description box and the comment section of this video, just so you can skip to a specific question because it's a long video guys, but enjoy. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My Leeds videos always reach a new demographic of people, so if you are new, hello, I am Erin. I've been to Leeds first for 2 years, 2018 and 2019. I was hoping to go last year, but obviously it got cancelled. But we're moving past that now, and 2021, Leeds Fest is going to happen. And since that news has been released by Festival Republic, my Leeds Fest vlogs have just kind of blown up again. So many new people have been watching them. So many questions from you guys. I've been DM'd on Instagram, in the comments of my vlogs, just so many questions. So I knew that I wanted to do the ultimate kind of Q&A for Leeds Fest. Not necessarily just for Leeds Fest, obviously there's Reading Festival too, but also festivals in general. We're gonna cover literally all the topics: alcohol, people, tent, stealing, security, robbing, music, acts, how old you have to be, drugs, meeting people, literally everything. We're diving into this video. But yes, if you are new to my channel, make sure you go down below and subscribe. I have quite a bit of Leeds Fest content already on my channel. So I've got both of my vlogs, which I go into kind of depth and you can see how the festival plans out really. Also got a Leeds Fest preparation video, which goes into the things that I take, how I snuck my alcohol in, which we're gonna be covering in this video of course as well. We're gonna dive in to the questions. Let's start off with the most frequently asked question. How do you sneak alcohol in? Can you bring alcohol in? How many drinks are you allowed in? If you're going for a weekend, if you're going for a day, can you bring alcohol in? If you're underage, the situation in bringing drinks into the arena. So, if you're under 18, you are legally not meant to be bringing alcohol in to the festival. If you're over 18, obviously you can bring alcohol in. All that you need to remember is you are not allowed glass into the festival. It has to be in plastic bottles. So cans you fine of course, but any beer bottles, glass bottles with spirits in, you need to put them in plastic bottles. Prep wise, you need to make sure that if you've got spirits, you need to put them in plastic bottles. As I said, if you're 18, you don't need to be sneaky about it. You can just pop your spirit into your bottles and you are good to go. People have also asked, is there a limit on bringing alcohol in? As I'm aware, there's not. I think if you have a ridiculous amount, like you've got crates stacked on top of crates and like loads and loads of litres of spirit, I think there could be a potential of getting some of it taken off you. But as far as I'm aware, I've not seen people over 18 get any alcohol taken off them as long as it's in plastic bottles. In terms of being under 18, obviously the situation is slightly different. First of all, the security at Leeds Fest, they are interested when it comes to coming into the festival and the security checks are happening. They are interested in finding illegal drugs, weapons, fireworks, stuff like that. They are not actively looking for alcohol. They know that people are going to bring alcohol into the festival. They are more actively looking for weapons. Both times when I've been to Leeds Fest, I've been underage. Every one of my groups has been underage. And literally, bar one friend who got a plastic bottle of vodka taken off him, I'm not aware of anybody being searched, because I feel like I wanted to be more careful when I went to Leeds Fest. I didn't want to have any risk of getting drinks taken off me. What I did is I did sneak my alcohol in, and this is how I did it.
And next up, the long anticipation. This is how I get my alcohol into Leeds first. Okay, so step 1, have your pack of 4, pack of 6 waters and cut a little slit on the bottom. Empty out the substance which you don't want. I don't want apple and blackcurrants. And now it's time to fill that bottle up again with the alcohol. I've gone for some vodka this year. When you have slit the bottom of the packet, also be very careful you don't completely tear it open. Do it in the centre because that's the thing that gives the bottle support. And we're obviously trying to make it look like we haven't cut into the packet. So here we see me now, I'm pouring the vodka in and put the lid back on the bottle. Make sure you push the blue bit as high as it can, so again it looks like it hasn't been tampered with. Then carefully put the bottle back in, making sure the plastic doesn't rip. Tape it all up. I filled up 2.5 bottles with vodka this time. It's obviously up to you how much vodka you want in all the bottles. And that is how I take my alcohol into Leeds Fest. Not condoning underage drinking. This is me taking extreme measures for it to be fine. Like, I don't think I'll get searched. I didn't last year. I think it works very well because it literally just looks like apple and blackcurrant water.
Yes, that is how I took my alcohol in. That is me taking extra precautionary measures. It's really not that necessary, to be honest. But all I can speak from is experience. Who knows, in 2021, Leeds Fest security could be a lot tighter. We don't know what's going to happen. That's one of the big points I just want to say as well towards the start of the video. I do not know if 2019 Leeds Fest is going to be the same for 2021 Leeds Fest. But you can just, if you want, as long as it's in plastic bottles and it's at the bottom of your bag, you can wrap clothes around it, you can put it on your sleeping bag, it will literally be fine. I just took the extra steps just to kind of take that stress off of myself, because it is quite stressful going into the festival and the whole security checks, which I'll go through the whole process as we get onto that question. But yeah, it's stressful, so I just wanted to take that stress off myself by being as risk-free as possible by sneaking them in. In terms of if you're coming to Leeds Fest for just a day, it is harder to sneak alcohol in if you're underage. Obviously you're not going to want to bring in a lot of stuff if you just come in for a day. You might even just have like a bum bag. So if I'm being totally honest, I don't know if there's a way of sneaking it in unless you want to sneak it in on your body. Again, you might get searched, you might not. I remember when I left the festival and then re-entered, they did search through the little bag that I'd brought in. So when it comes to having a day ticket, because it's a lot quieter than what it is when people turn up for the weekend and there's a lot of people to get through and it feels like quite a quick process, they do take things a little bit slower when it comes to just letting people in for just that day. So if I'm being totally honest, I think it is going to be quite difficult to sneak the alcohol in. If you maybe just have a little flask and put it right at the bottom of your bag or disguise it as something else. If you're over 18, obviously you can bring in alcohol. If you just come in for the day, that's absolutely fine. In terms of going into the arena, you are not allowed to bring drinks in. Like, even if you're over 18, you're not allowed to bring drinks into the arena. What I did learn actually in 2019 was that you can bring water into the arena. So what they do is when the security checks happen to go in, because there's like a whole set of barriers to get into the stages and the arena section, and they kind of always give you like a very light pat down, and if you're having a bottle they ask you to shake it, and if you shake it, water, obviously it doesn't bubble, it doesn't fizz, it doesn't do anything, it just literally stays flat, and you're fine to take the water in. But other than that, no alcohol allowed in the arena. You have to buy it when you're in there. I think that covers the whole alcohol situation completely. If I've missed anything, again, ask in the comments. The next very frequently asked question was basically just the whole camping spot situation. Is it hard to find a space if you come in on Wednesday, if you come in on Thursday, or if you come in on Friday? Obviously if you've got a weekend ticket. So in terms of coming in on Wednesday, if you have the early bird ticket, it's very easy to get a space. Very easy indeed. Unless you come in really late in the day, it might be a little bit difficult, but even then it's absolutely fine, no trouble at all. The doors open at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, that's what it says on the Leeds Fest website, although I remember getting there even earlier than that in 2019. I have always gone to Red Camp. I always find that Red Camp is the best just purely because of its location. There's a whole kind of like stereotype with the different atmosphere in different camps, which I do agree with to a certain extent, but at the same time, like, I think it's kind of a myth. I don't really think it's too true. Red Camp is just more ideal because of its location. You are not too far away from the arena, you've got toilets nearby but not too nearby, and you're also in the kind of atmosphere of it all but not too close to the action, because if you go into Blue Camp you're a lot nearer to the stages, so it gets a lot louder and there's always like people walking past. Brown Camp, if I'm correct, I think that's more like a family area. Orange Camp, as far as I'm concerned, it just feels the same to Red Camp, it's just further out. Like loads of people say that Orange Camp's really dangerous and stuff, but from experience, I passed by it a few times, it seemed fine. It just seemed the same as any place else in the festival. If you come in on Thursday to camp, it is a little bit trickier to find a spot, I won't lie. I went on Thursday in 2018 and we ended up right near the Relentless stage, kind of on a hill as well. Also, it just was really loud all the time. Relentless goes on to like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. I would say it's harder to find a spot, but it's still not impossible. We still had, you know, a fair bit amount of room. Way more stress-free if you go on the Wednesday because there is just so much more room and you can spread yourself out a bit. And then that moves me on to Friday. I think going on a Friday, it's going to be very difficult to find a spot. Like Thursday night, you're walking around that festival and it seems jam-packed. Definitely gonna struggle. It's just simple logic. The later you go, the harder it is to find a spot. The next question, which I've kind of just covered, is just the best area to camp. As I said, I think Red Camp is the best. The next one is just festival essentials. So many people want to know what to bring. I go into a lot of what I bring in my preparations video, but I'm just gonna kind of go over the list that I was following when I was prepping for Leeds Fest. Wellies, outfits, alcohol, bum bag, toothbrush, deodorant, baby wipes, dry shampoo, hairbrush, bobbles, sleeping bags, tent, camp chairs, sunglasses, mixers, food, comfy clothes, a hoodie, a coat, some fluffy socks, some glitter, all my makeup, a portable charger. Obviously some of them is a bit more vague, like food, which I'm gonna go into, but other than that you don't really need too much more. In terms of actually bringing your stuff into the festival, just try and compact it down as much as you can. Don't bring unnecessary things. All you just need is the essentials. There's gonna have to be a designated person in your group who's gonna like bring the speaker and bring like lights and pillows and stuff if you want to have a bit more of like a cool camp area. Work between your group with who's bringing what. Like obviously only one person needs to bring a speaker. Portable chargers, bring your own. Don't be relying on other people about chargers. I'm just going to lead in to just phone charging situation in general. People have asked how many portable chargers do you need to bring. I only brought one both times actually, and my phone was dying. It was very nearly dead. So if you have 2 portable chargers, definitely do that. You don't go on your phone a lot, to be honest. Personally say 2 chargers, you should be good to go. There's also a candy charge company at Leeds Festival. I've not used that. 2 of my friends actually did, if not more of them, in 2019. And that seemed really good. Every day you can go over and switch out the charge that you've had the day before and then get a whole new one, so you can basically charge your phone up every single day. The next question is basically just recommended times to go to the festival. So I'm going to go through each day. First of all, Wednesday. Obviously that's early bird if you decide to go for the early bird option. I went at 12:30, as I've said, and that seemed like a very good time. Aim for 12:30, 1 o'clock. That's what I'd recommend. Thursday, I would say go as early as you can. Get there 9, 10 a.m. And in terms of if you just got a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday ticket, I would say get there at around 11, 12 o'clock. The acts kind of tend to start at about 12, but you can still get in the arena, still a bit of, you know, a bit of atmosphere, and just make the most of the day. Next question, again a very frequently asked one, is just the early bird. Is early bird worth it? I would say yes. Yes it is. It depends what you're looking to get out of Leeds Fest. But if you want to elongate that weekend and have a whole other day for only £20, I think it is still £20, that's how much it was for the last 2 years, absolutely get early bird. You're guaranteed a better camping spot. The atmosphere is always really good on a Wednesday as well, because obviously everyone's got energy, whereas on a Sunday everyone's dead and just ready to go home. So I'd definitely say early bird is worth it if you're wanting an extra day. Okay, the next question is the whole process of getting in, and I'm also going to talk about like the whole security, and people have asked if there's sniffer dogs. So we're going to go through that whole process here. Getting into the festival, there's a few different entrances. There's quite a few different options. I went into Red Gate 1. There's 2 massive car parks. There's one section where it's like a long stay car park, so obviously if you're gonna park your car up, that's where you do that. Also a lot of drop off and pick up points. From that you just literally start walking down this path, and eventually it leads into one kind of woodland path. Prepare yourself to carry your bags. It is horrible. It's very, very horrible. This is why I'm saying try and limit the stuff that you bring. Don't bring unnecessary items. Once you've gone down this long path, you'll then start to see loads of metal railing, which is where you all start queuing for the security checks. There's probably like 3-4 lines before you actually get to the security people. Then there's like 4 kind of open tents, like with 2 girls, 2 boys, and there's like an usher kind of person who brings you in. And the group of people that you're in, they'll either say, yep, come and get searched, and they'll bring you to one of the 4 tents, or they'll say, go through. So that's kind of like, are you gonna get searched? Are you not gonna get searched moment? I've not been searched. I think I pointed that out already. I've never been searched, only some of my friends have been. Really just judge you on how you look and how dodgy your group look. From then, you have to go weave around the metal railings once again. Enter into this other big kind of gazebo tent, 4 people there checking tickets. So you got to get your ticket ready, and then in this massive tent there's about 8 stations where you get wristbands put on you. So it's a fabric wristband, and then it's got like a metal clasp, and they kind of clamp it down. In terms of early bird as well, you've got to hand over your early bird ticket too. You don't get a specific wristband, because once you're in, you're in. Yeah, that's the process. There is sniffer dogs, there's dogs, yes there is, that's true. Don't know how much they do. I didn't ever hear them barking anyone's bags. People asked, do you get any sleep? No, not really. Not really at all. You can try hard to go to sleep, but the noise never stops. The Relentless stage goes on till 4 or 5 AM, so does Piccadilly. The arena closes down, I think it's 11, if not 10 o'clock actually. So the main acts stop, but that arena is like quite far away from all the camps other than people at the front of Blue Camp. So the noise from that isn't bad, but it's not even necessarily the music playing, it's the people just in the camps. Obviously big groups of people all socialising, and it just, the noise never stops. The only chance that you've got to go to sleep is if you can cope with being surrounded by noise. Another common question is it hard to find people when you get there? Yeah, it can be quite hard. This also links into the question, is there service there, and do you get service? It just depends from provider to provider. Like I'm with Vodafone, and I actually got service wherever I was in the festival. It was very slow, but I know that a lot of providers don't have as good service in certain areas, which makes it very tricky to find people, because like once you're in the arena and it's just flooded with people, it can be really difficult to find people, and especially how loud it is and you've got your phone tucked away in a bum bag. It can be really hard to call people. So I think worst comes to worst, you need to kind of maybe pre-plan a place that you're going to meet up. Obviously once you've camped up, if you ever get lost or like ever can't find any people, just go back to your tent, and obviously they're going to come back at some point. You can always go to the help tents, and they'll be able to ring your friends. That's always an option. Just try and stay with people all the time. Like don't go places by yourself. Stay with a group of people. Which leads on actually to the next question, like what would you recommend as a group size? Is it better to be in a bigger group or a smaller group? Literally both works. It depends what you're trying to get out of Leeds Festival. If obviously you've got a huge friendship group and they all go, then it's an absolute laugh. Like with all your friends, say being in a big group is really fun. You've got more of a chance that people are going to want to go see the acts that you want to see, and you can split off a bit more. Whereas if you're in a smaller group, you need to kind of stay together, so there might be some acts you're going to miss out on. And it feels a bit more safer being in a big group, I'd say. People asked, am I going to Leeds Fest this year? As of now, I'm not. I don't have a ticket. I didn't really feel the rush to get the ticket when they first got released, because I'm going to Parklife at the moment, which that's booked for. Just my friendship group, we just wanted to change it up a little bit and go to a different festival. But I am looking for a Leeds Fest ticket. I just kind of want to go on Sunday, I think, just one day instead of a whole weekend. 100% on the lookout for going at least for a day, definitely. Do you lose your tent? Not really, to be honest. What I would just say is once you've set up your tent, you need to try and find a very noticeable sign or like a flag, something around where you're camped that's really distinguishable. It's hard to lose your tent, to be honest, because you do just pick out the features that are really noticeable around your tent. Is there a difference between Reading and Leeds Festival? It's Reading and Leeds Festival. The exact same acts play, it's just in two different locations. I've not been to Reading Festival, so I don't know if it's the exact same, but in terms of music, it's the same. What is the setup of the festival and the distances between each thing? It took me from Red Camp, right near Red Camp toilets, about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes to get to the arena, 15 to 20 minutes to get to the main stage. The main stage is the furthest thing out. Distance isn't too bad. This is why I just recommend Red Camp, because it's a good distance from anywhere. If you're way back, I think it's like Brown, that's like a half an hour walk to the main stage. What is the transport situation? So as I said, I drove to Leeds Fest and got dropped off. I know a few of my friends got I think it's just called the bus. And how that works is they got dropped off in Leeds city centre, which is where all the buses came from. I think that's the only point where they start. And it's like a 15-20 minute journey into the festival, and they just have constant buses going there and back. There'll be obviously a few, and you get dropped right off by the arena entrance. You just buy the ticket, pre-buy it, and you don't need to book a certain time. You can just get on any bus. Would you pay for the luxury passes, and are they worth it? I've never used one, so from experience I am not 100% sure. I've read into it all, and I know a few people who decided to go for it. And I think if you live far out from the festival and there's no opportunity for you to go home and have a shower, I'd say it is worth it. I think it's 35 to 50 or 60 pounds, I think they are, that there's different levels of luxury. But having a nice toilet would have been very much appreciated, I have to say. And having a shower, and you can get like makeup stations and have access to chargers and stuff. So if you want to pay that extra bit of money, I would say it is worth it. How much money should you bring? Cash or card? Literally every stall kind of place at Leeds Fest does card now, if not even Apple Pay. They definitely just use your card. Still bring a bit of cash. I think I bought like 40 quid in last year and I didn't use it all. So I would just say, especially now, it's 2 years on, like people have Apple Pay. 20-30 quid, you're good to go if you need it. What food should you bring? The food situation. Definitely learned from the first year, bring less food than you think you're going to need. You just don't eat a lot at all. Bring a more minimal amount. Bring snacks that are gonna last the full weekend and you're just gonna be able to grab out, and it's just easy. Like crisps and biscuits are really good. I always brought some fruit, like little pots of fruit to have in the morning. It was just very refreshing. I remember I also bought like a pack of sausage rolls, which I ate on the first and second day. Bring stuff that has a longer date life, if that makes sense. There is always opportunity to get food when you're in the arena, and there's loads of stands throughout the whole festival and all the camping places. that you can go and get food from. It's really expensive, I won't lie, and some of it is really gross. I got a pizza once, it was literally disgusting. It was like £10. Got a wrap as well actually last year, that was really nice, and you're looking at like £5 to £10 for like a meal. Do you think there's going to be a resale ticket? I have no idea. I do not know any more than anyone else. I have a hopeful feeling that there will be, so that I can get a ticket. I feel like they haven't sold the full amount of a normal Leeds Fest weekend so far. I think they've had more limited. Do fake IDs work at the bars? I personally would not risk it at all. Imagine getting a fake ID taken off you at Leeds Fest. It's just, yeah, it's not worth it. You don't need to bring a fake ID. As I said, you can sneak in your own alcohol. It's so much cheaper. Like, the drinks there are so expensive anyway. Do you meet people there? So I don't know if this is in terms of just like friends or more than friends situation. It's actually harder than you think to meet people for the more friends situation. I feel like people don't really make any moves. You're just there with your friends, like trying to enjoy it. Friend wise, it's very difficult because the people who you're surrounded by, unless you're like camped up near them, which I think that is the best opportunity to meet new people. When you're in like stages and arenas, it's a very short proximity of time that you're surrounded by the same people, so you don't ever like get chatting to them for a long period of time. When I've been each year, I've always actually just met people there that I've known from before, like school and mutual friends and stuff. Is there any nearby shops? Yes, there is a co-op inside the festival. I feel like that's not very common knowledge. Yeah, there's literally a co-op in the festival. It's really good. You can get meal deals. You can buy drinks, so you can like top up on supplies, and obviously it's not bad prices at all. It's just co-op. It's inflated a bit more to like a normal co-op price, but yeah, it's really good. Right near the arena, so it's where all the other shops are. There's loads of stalls. Like, you can buy clothes, glasses, like actual camping essentials in all the shops at Leeds Fest. It's obviously more expensive than if you were to buy it at home. But you can restock if you forget things. Would you buy a ticket off another seller? No, that sounds a little bit dodgy. What happened with Megan actually? Leeds Fest ticket off someone who was selling loads, and the actual weekend ticket was fine, and she had to pick it up at this whole other point, which was really stressful, can I just say. It's so much easier getting a ticket sent to your house so you have it before the festival rather than having to collect it on the day. But her early bird ticket didn't work. It was like it wasn't valid, or it was like different to a normal ticket. It was really weird, but it was really stressful. I would not recommend that at all. If you can get it off the Leeds Fest website, do that. Obviously you can buy a ticket off someone else, but make sure you see all the confirmation, and make sure you've already like organised pre the festival the collection point. Give yourself enough time to get it and things like that. Does your stuff get robbed? No. Not really at all. Whole kind of, I don't want to say myth, because obviously people do have stuff taken. I've just not experienced it. But just keep your bum bag to yourself the whole time. Try get ones with like different compartments inside of it, so it's not just one zip and then all your stuff is there. Like, try get one that has little compartments inside of it as well. And like, always just keep it on you at all times. Your money, your phone in it. I'd get a bigger bum bag as well. I had like a really small one the first year, and then the second year I invested in a bigger one, and it was definitely worth it because I could get everything I needed in there, nice and safe. But like your actual tent, people don't walk around and nick stuff out of tents. There's hundreds of tents. Like, if your tent gets picked to get robbed, then you'd be very unlucky. It's more of a situation, is your friends gonna rob your stuff? Like, they're gonna nick your drinks, because they do that. Don't put padlocks on your tent. Again, it's not fact information, but it can maybe lure people into thinking that you've got valuables in there. Don't stress about it too much. It's very, very unlikely chance that you're going to get robbed, because everyone's just in the same position. Like, there's so many tents. How do you deal with big crowds and mosh pits? You just have to deal with them. It happens. If you're a bit kind of anxious about that and you don't want to get too like in the crowds, because the mosh pits can be really dangerous, just stay further out. The more central and nearer to the stage and the music you get to, the more like mosh pitty it is. So yeah, if you're anxious about that, just step back and don't get involved in it. What shoes should you wear? It literally depends on weather. Always check the weather app before Leeds Fest. It's gonna be sunny, take trainers, and if it's gonna be really, really muddy, take wellies. As simple as that. I also had some cheap sliders just to throw on when you're just around the camp. Second year, it was boiling hot, like literally boiling. So all I needed was trainers, like no boots at all, but just bring both as options. What time does the act start? Kind of mentioned it before, 1:30, 1 o'clock, that kind of time, and they finish, as I said, about 10, 11. Are people sober? Yeah, some people are sober. Like, you could just be sober, but you're kind of just like drunk off the vibes and the energy and the atmosphere of Leeds Fest. Yeah, you don't need to necessarily have alcohol or anything to have a fun time. As I said, there's just atmosphere wherever you go, so you don't need to have something, you don't need to have anything, and a lot of people choose not to. And lastly, just to round up this video, I'd say just like, I'm just going to say my general tips. I think I've covered what anyone has specifically asked for. I would say get the Leeds Festival app that tells you a full timetable of when all the acts are and the times, and like have it all planned down on your notes page on your phone, because obviously you don't need Wi-Fi or data. Pack as lightly as you can because carrying the bag is really difficult. Camp with people who you're just like really happy and chill with. Don't bring too much food. Always have a warm layer of clothes because it does get really cold at night. If you can go home, if you live close, I would say go home and get a shower. I personally planned all my outfits and had each outfit in a bag. That definitely worked very well because it's very cramped in the tent. The easier you can have your stuff accessible, like the less stress-free the whole getting ready situation is. Just have fun. Like, it's really fun. It's a very fun time. Obviously, to see more of like the ins and outs of everything, go watch my vlogs. I think that concludes and sums up this video. If you have any more questions, let me know. That is all I have to say. I hope this was an informative, helpful video if you're going to Leeds Festival, if not any festival. I hope you enjoyed. I will hopefully see you at Leeds Fest. If anyone is selling day tickets, hit me up and message me. Particularly Sunday, I'm interested in. If you're new here and you've watched to the end, go subscribe. It's been a long video, but I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure you look out for all the summer content. There's gonna be holidays, I'm going to Park Live, hopefully going to Leeds Fest, nights out, pubs are back open, I'm so excited. But yeah, bye bye!